The human contribution to the needs of others are the essential ingredients of life. It is only when you stand out to impact others that you truly live your purpose. Thanks for joining us today on Let's Talk Charity. My name is Anaze Ngogozi Peters.
And my name is Esther Tokunrotifa. As we know, Let's Talk Charity is all about putting humanitarian workers and their work in the limelight. Not only that, we are also trying to help individuals. We're trying to help minority groups, disadvantaged groups, with all the support that we can get. Mrs. Anne, you are looking absolutely amazing today.
Thank you so much. Like I always tell you, if I look at you, I want to be a black Nigerian woman.
Thank you so much. So shall we go into it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So today on the show, we are talking youth empowerment. Nigeria is considered as a young nation with almost half of its population being youth.
Yes.
And today we have an amazing speaker.
Definitely.
Who is he?
Okay, today we will be having in the studio the president and founder of Prince 7 Youth Development Initiative. Okay. He is also the special advisor to the Cross River State Governor on Sports and Cinematography. Wow. So we look forward to having him after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Like we said earlier on, we're talking about the roles of youth in nation building. And today with me, we have the Honorable Prince 7, Prince Goswill Edward with us. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I am so excited. I'm so excited to have you here. You know, your busy schedules and everything. I want to appreciate you for your humility. You came all the way. Thank you so much.
And I should also appreciate you for all you're doing.
Thank you.
And to give you an opportunity for the world to get to hear about those that are indeed putting their life out there to ensure that humanity breeds, lives, and humanity moves forward in the way that it should be. So congratulations to you and the team.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So let's get on to it. Before we go into talking about youth and their contributions in nation building, I'd like us to see a little documentary on the Nigerian youth.
Thank you.
According to projections by the United Nations for 2020, about 43% of Nigerian population is comprised of children between the ages of 0 to 14. 19% are ages 15 to 24, and about 62% are below the age of 25. With a youth unemployment rate of over 50%, millions of young people in Nigeria struggle to make ends meet, and many resolve to menial jobs as a means to survive. However, those few that are unable to survive on such jobs resort to crime, from cult groups, cybercrime, down to theft. Youth are becoming more desperate as the days go by. Youth empowerment schemes have been put in place by the government, such as the Presidential Youth Empowerment Scheme, created to curb the rate of unemployment. However, the big question is, can more initiatives be created to ensure the rising youth unemployment rate come down? This and more coming up.
Sir, in the analysis we've looked at on the unemployment rate for Nigeria, it's going to prompt me to ask you this question. That in a data released in the year 2020, unemployment figure stood out at 21.7 million, and for which youth account for 13.9 million of this total figure. What does this suggest?
It shows you that we have failed and still not understanding the importance of youth development to national and global development. You know, when you disregard, ignore, and then you don't practice what you preach. They have been telling us, build the youth, build the future. Youths are the future of tomorrow. Now we're in that tomorrow, and we still have an opportunity to create the narrative or change the narrative for the next tomorrow, because the tomorrow will never come. You know, you keep living in the today. You know, so as now you have a statistics that is very accurate, because they refuse to build the youth, so they don't have a future. And then don't forget too, as a man thinking is that so easy? Nigerians have, and the leadership of our nation, it's not just a Nigerian problem when I speak most times, because I see myself, I speak from global perspective, because the Nigerian youths that we used to know are no longer Nigerian youths. We now have youths who are global, and that's why most of the crime that you hear today are global crimes. Most of the success stories that you hear today, whether good or bad, coming from the youths of Nigeria, all have global view, global pictures. We can compete with any society globally. So we have some 5% of our population of society in Africa, and then we don't build the youth, or refuse to invest. You know, and it's most of these things, and that some of us create narratives and initiatives for the youth. I believe that I should serve my generation, because my generation has 75% of the population. So if 75% of the population is doing well, it means that the nation will move forward. Exactly. You know, when you give them guns and not balls, I created give them balls and take guns from them. You're talking about youth.
Recently.
What have you done for the youth?
I see what
you don't. When you refuse to create jobs, you refuse to empower skills and talent development, you've destroyed everything. It's like the youths are fighting a generation that is so afraid, a generation that has failed to move forward, or failed, and then have decided to intentionally continue to see the youth, our generation, fail, because they are afraid to accept failure. Because I don't know why you build stadiums and they are moribund. They are now museums, only meant for crusades or party rallies or political rallies. You know, our youths who play football on bad grounds, our youths who play football without boots, they're not even encouraged. They're not even told you're doing well.
They're not even seen.
They are not even seen. So they struggle to destroy their faith, and then they're not even given an opportunity to excel. Yet every institution and every platform that was created has been created not to be used or engaged in a positive way. But the only thing that's been destined for the youths of Africa are prisons. So many presidents, great leaders are in the prison. Did they make a mistake? Yes. Was it good enough? You call it correctional center. How correctional is it? What we should convert. My vision is to see that every prison. We're not saying that you can cop crime in totality, but let's convert them to youth development centers. Let's convert the prisons to youth development centers. The guns they buy for insecurity will not solve the problem. Build the youth. How do you build them? Give them skills, encourage them, create platforms. When I mean intentionally, you must create platforms that will stimulate social change and kick against social vices. When there's no stimulation, you know, that produces social change, and then the negative vices increases, because a youth who constantly engages in value, and then the value is gone and there's no place to recreate value, because they have been doing the same thing over time. Your father will tell you that your mates are driving big cars and you're playing football. Your mates are driving big cars and you're dancing. Your mates are driving big cars and you're singing. Let me tell you something. Education is very important. Education without skill is bad. So you get more of those statistics if we refuse to change the narrative, get to the drawing board, get people who have passion and love for humanity, people who can say, come, how do we empower the next generation? They must be intentional. It's not about talking and talking and talking. What are you doing? All hands must be on deck. Yes. We're saying on the gunpowder. You can only retrieve those guns from them when you give them skills, when you create factories and industries. Let's take our resources, steal our resources, and put them in foreign bank accounts. And then the bank gives loans only to their citizens and still borrow the money to Nigerian government. That's foolishness. And then you refuse to build industries. They build and buy houses and invest Nigerian resources that are stolen, buying industries and building houses outside Nigeria. So who will develop your villages? They fly out for medical treatments and fly out for send their kids to education. Everything is out there. You don't give people the right education. They even struggle to go to the bad schools that you've created for them. You don't still give them jobs. Exactly. They struggle to even do businesses. You don't support them. They struggle for everything. Even when they speak, you don't want to hear them. I am telling you, national security can only improve when your development is seen as a focal point. You must put all your energy on the numbers. Politics, business, success, everything on earth has to do with numbers. When you concentrate on 75% of the population of society and lead them and give them the opportunity to lead themselves, you cannot send a minority to lead the majority. Yes, it's good, but we have been trying minority leadership. Our leaders who are the older and smaller in number, without challenges, have been leading us for too long. We are the majority that have been converted to a minority. It's time for young people to lead themselves, create programs that affect young people. When a youth leads the youth who understand the importance. When an old man leads, he does not think about
It
your
doesn't
pain.
make sense.
He is even not, he has not repented from the fact that his forefathers too did not offer a better society for them. Now, everybody must be thinking Nigeria. And the only way to think Nigeria, the new way to go for a new Nigeria to be formed, is for every young person out there to come out, get involved, support youth, not just youth. Don't forget, when we talk about youth participation in politics and governance, to find a solution or panacea to solving the present problems of youth in the society, you must also know that if you fail to get the right youth, you get more into trouble.
Thank you so much, sir. This is so much of an eye opener. So as we stand right now, what are the programs of benefit available for Nigerian youths? So to just keep them, take them out of unemployment. Yes,
We should.
because right now I know you're doing so much. You as an individual, you're doing so much, and I don't know what the government have in stock. But I don't know if I'd like you to talk from your perspective,
Yes.
because just a week ago I see that you've readily opened a football academy, and you've brought in over 1,000 children, camping them, feeding them, paying stipends to them, to their families and all. I just want to know, what are those numerous programs?
I'll speak from a general perspective, but using myself as a case study where I can, because I'm not just the only one doing or contributing
Yes,
out there.
yes.
But we're saying that, when you have a problem, it's a global problem, it's a general problem. So you don't have a problem and then begin to look for an outsider to help you solve that problem. We must, own our problems and become architects of solution. The Nigerian problem is the fact that we have refused to, empower and positively, engage our energy into empowering young people. A lot of initiatives from the government perspectives are out there, but how beneficiary and how accessible are these things? First of all, you must understand that we have both the educated and uneducated youths in society. You have those in the urban and the rural environment. How many of the rural kids can have access to technology or innovation or the mobile phone or data, where they can also access or get to know how they can register online for most of these government useful initiatives? How many of them have mentors or have organizations that are teaching and grooming them, exposing them to the privileges that are available for government? So we have to take leadership to the grassroots. We must make it so accessible that one for all for one. There must be a bridge to connect both the rural kids, the educated and uneducated children. Young people shouldn't be deprived because there's no proper environment for them to engage. Now, back to your question, we need to look at sports development in all fields.
Okay.
When I was growing up, we all were involved in seeing local government to local government, community to community sport. That's traditional and grassroots sports development. Grassroots sports development gives birth from the locality to the state level. The best place to catch talent is to go to them behind their house and look for how they play.
Go to the
So the
grassroots.
grassroots is important. We've neglected the grassroots.
Exactly.
And then most of the privileges are for those who are privileged. Only privileged people in this climb, get to benefit from privileges that comes from the government, because they refuse to create reservoirs or leakages for it to leak and penetrate down to the grassroots. So we need sports development. First of all, every insecurity comes from the community. So we must also empower the traditional institution. We must give them every opportunity to police their communities very well, because when the youths come to town and commit crime, they go to the hinterlands, the rural environments to hide.
Yes.
So so most of the crime comes from the outside. So the pains of a man who's suffering, who have not been given proper empowerment and seedlings in agriculture, who have not been taught skills, who have not been given support for entrepreneurship development, who have not been supported in improving their talent, God's given talent from the rural environment that will feed the state. And then if the state refuses to look beyond picking great talents and giving them opportunities, they begin to result to negative vices. And the best way is drug abuse, guns, and then violence. And then they begin to come out from there and begin to steal from those who have, not knowing that the problem is a bridge that we refuse to build.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I see you have so much to offer. So we'll take a short break. And when we come back, we will focus on charity and the impact of NGOs on youth to
Thank you.
help them out of being unemployed. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're still on youth empowerment on nation building. And we've had so much illustrations so far from our wonderful guest, Prince Seven. So now, sir, I just want you to throw more light on the importance of charity and NGOs in playing a key role to youth and unemployment.
Quite very important. And I think that the government must take very drastic steps and conscious effort to ensure that they support people. It's most times when I sit down and I want to talk or I'm given an opportunity, I'm too passionate about it. And I just begin to feel that we must know that the major problem that is we're faced today is in leadership. When you have the right leader, you will know what to do. How do you give people that have never shown you track records, or never been able to show you value for anything, the opportunity to empower or inspire or empower people? It said, by their seeds you shall know them. Practice what you preach. Value those who are little, who do the little they can. Give them more. Create the enabling environment to support NGOs. Humanitarians are not people. They have two types of humanitarians: some who are called by God and some who see it as business. It's a calling.
Exactly.
I tell people that my passion for youth development is just like that of a pastor who has a
Exactly.
congregation, prays every day
Exactly.
to see that everybody who comes to his church
It's
gets
successful,
healing,
yeah.
finds prosperity or finds answers to their problem. At the same time, be their shepherd or be shepherd over them. That's how I see youth development for me. It's a calling. It's a calling that comes from God that makes me empty myself. Even when I don't have, I feel that the greatest capital that we need is so spiritual and social capital. So I think that the government needs to begin to locate people who are doing so good for their community. And we need to also call on a lot of people out there, the churches, the private sector. It's time to be human. And being human is to drive humanity. When humanity is the watchword and the government considers humanity, you must get leadership that is selfless, leadership that has the pulse or feels the pulse of the people. When the righteous rule, the people rejoice. It means that when a righteous man rules, a righteous man has character, has inspiration from God, has the pulse of the people, he has the yearnings of the people. What is governance about? Governance is about the people. An economist must understand that the most important thing, why is going into business, is to create solution and create products that can be beneficiary to the people before money. When the people have good products, consume good products, they are excited. But when you rob the people with products because you want to make money, then you're not human. So charitable organizations are putting out themselves, their services voluntarily, and there are volunteers who are coming out to say, come, we want to change the narrative. We want to reach out to people. Government should focus on empowering such people. There should be government intervention programs strategically positioned to reach out to these people. And then every other person too must get on board, whether you're in an organization, individual. What we are now in Nigeria, we're in the hot seat, we're sitting on the gunpowder. And everybody must be involved. If you like, build the walls as tall as they are. The people who refuse to empower their drivers' children, their cleaners, and those around their community, and you build a fine house and you alone drive the good car. Nobody's saying this. You must be conscious to know that God blessed you to reach out to people. We must speak positively about charity, encourage charitable organizations, cause people to be inspired to support and be their brother's keeper. When we can empower every young person, then we will not spend money on architecture, hiring police to protect us. Because when the people are busy doing something, and they are not idle doing the wrong thing, they will be busy showing value to humanity. So I'm calling on private sector and everybody to support charitable organizations, while I appreciate NGOs and ask that they continue to do their best.
Thank you so much, sir. I still want to ask one last question. What are those programs you think can be laid out, to empower youth and help them come out of being unemployed? You'd with a case study from, people from Bakassi.
Okay, I'd say this. Youth development, like I say, is being practical. We have young people who play football, support them, create initiatives. I told somebody recently that I have a football club. As I'm talking to you now, my footballers are in Bielsa playing the National League, Division 2. I can assure you that
I see them
their
winning
first
every
game
day,
was the
yeah.
first ever time those young people ever got to play on a major stadium. I felt excited and they were happy. It means that they've been given an opportunity
To do something
to do
different
something different.
from
It
what they've
means
been
that
doing.
I have 35 people that have been camping in Bielsa presently, and hotel. They eat. They have local transport,
That is so
that
much.
takes them there. They have boots. They have jerseys. They are beautiful, and they are people from
And
all parts.
logistics,
And
transportation.
I don't know any of them or just few. And it's exciting because I must say that those youths, imagine 35 youths holding guns.
Exactly.
I've given them ball.
Yes.
It's not time to talk. It's
Yeah.
time to talk and do.
It's time to
So we
act.
must act and be
And
intentional about it. We must look at even the people who dance. Dancers make so much money. When I look at Cross River State government and I said, we've been dancing and dancing in carnival, and then we pay very senior people to come from Lagos State, and then we pay them money for dancing. People sing. Do you know how much that Whiskey has been able to provide, the kind of jobs he's provided by allowing his talent to find true discovery? So we
Exactly.
must hatch for talent, create talent development programs, inspire, educate. We must look at sports tourism. We must look at skills acquisition. We must look at those innovators, young people who are doing something. There's so much
Ideas,
of
new
value that
ideas,
is in the
yes.
hearts of Africans and Nigerians, and we must stimulate it only by ensuring that we contribute and give them platforms to express themselves practically. It's so easy to support them. Those who are entrepreneurs will create jobs for the unemployed. Those who have innovations will create industries. We must be intentional about it.
Thank you so much, sir. This is mind blowing, and it's so educative. I must say that you are really doing so well for humanity, and if we have 5 to 6 people doing the same thing you're doing, taking out 35, 35, 35, each time you do these things, we just see that the chain is going round and round, and then we keep changing the narratives. Now, back to Let's Talk Charity. Now, it's Let's Talk Charity, it's a platform that we show people out there. We bring you, like you've spoken. A lot of people know that you're out there doing great things. That's one of the importance of the show. And then it's a platform where people also get help, and then people also know these people that are
And how
doing,
to
because it's
connect.
not everyone that knows that you do this. And for everyone watching right now out there, Prince Seven Goswill Edward is doing so much. And right now there's a club. So if there's a football club for youth, and a lot is going on, you can imagine, with the excitement of going to play in a national stadium for the first time. Please, if you need to get connected to this club, if you've had visions and dreams of wanting to play and the opportunity is not being given to you, please just write to us, send us messages on the numbers rolling on the screen, and we will connect you to this club. Again, sir, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming to this
We
program.
actually have an academy, so we teach people how to play, and
Okay.
then from the academy they graduate to play for the club. So we teach you to become professional, because we want to get into the club. You have an NFF license, you're a licensed
Okay.
football player,
Okay.
and we can also now help you to guarantee opportunities to send you through the club out of Nigeria for prosperity. So
Exactly.
we have those connections and those contacts, and we're building them. Like I told you, for us to support, we might not have all the resources, but we have the spiritual grace and we have the social capital. So who I know that knows someone, when you have character, you relate with people. If you're able not just to put your resources, but to put your relationships as a strength or as a basics to support people, then that's another thing that I do. Not just in sports, in everything. We're teaching leaders, we're grooming young people for political positions, we're talking to everybody, we're talking to parties and how they can implement and get young people to be involved from the board of directors and the BOTs. If all political parties have young people in the BOTs, it means that young people are being given an opportunity to be political minded, because you cannot win elections when you don't have the party structure. And we have always been marginalized. So when you have young people, we're advocating and we're empowering and we're enlightening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You've heard him, continued from where I stopped. So if you need to get in touch, you need to be, you need your son, someone that wants to, aspire to being a footballer and knowing what they are doing and knowing it rightly. Please write to us and we will connect you to them. So we have a tradition of letting you always remember that you came for Let's Talk Charity. So we would be giving you this souvenir. Thank you so much for coming. We truly appreciate you.
And I call on every well-being Nigerian out there to follow them, watch them, let them inspire you. What is productive, and it will also amaze you that as special advisor to my governor on sports and cinematography, I know the importance about movie making and content creation. I had something called the Share Your Story, where we inspired and gave cameras and equipment in Cross River State to young people, and we're taking it around the globe. Share Your Story is pick up your mobile phone. Instead of sharing social content that dehumanizes and reduces the value and the image of Nigeria, use your mobile phone. Tell us about the woman that sells akara, about the stream in your village. Create valuable content for the world to see. Let's sell our story. Let's share our story. The story of Africa has been told for us. It's time for us to tell our story in the right way. So these are platforms, and I see young people being creative. I call on everyone to support what they're doing, watch them, view them, and get involved too. You could be trained by any of them and also learn how to create the right content. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I like what you and your team are doing.
Thank you.
And I take this in appreciation, and I pray that God Almighty will bless the work of your hands as you continue to speak and give people the platform to be heard.
Amen.
God bless
Thank you so much. Welcome back. It's been an exciting conversation with Prince Goswill Edward. And so far, he's said a lot of things that I'm so excited about, like the academy, putting the youths together, restoring hope back to them. What do you think?
I feel for me, the quote that kept coming back to me is something that late Chief Obafemi Awolowo said. He said, the children of the poor you refuse to train will never let you sleep in peace.
They will haunt you tomorrow.
So youth empowerment, youth engagement is paramount to the growth of any nation. Across socioeconomic levels, across ethno-religious levels.
Exactly.
You cannot take that away from the Nigerian youth. So if we're thinking of moving forward,
we
youth
need to empower the youth.
And it has to be exactly like Prince Godswill said, it has to be a government that is focused on, it has to be youth oriented.
Exactly.
Because if you have people that don't know the youth, you have people that are not interested or don't understand the needs of the youth, then we're just going to continue in this cycle, which is just going to keep us really stagnant.
It's really saddening to know that I wouldn't say the system just keeps going round and round and round in a circle. But I believe that if we put together all these things, because I know that Let's Talk Charity is not like I know that. I believe that Let's Talk Charity, it's a very amazing platform.
Definitely.
Like we hear these things. We have people coming in, bringing in their views from all angles. And I feel like when all this is put together, the NGOs, the humanitarians, individuals, taking it upon themselves, and then with the help from the government, I'm sure
much more can be done. So this is just to all our viewers out there, in case you are interested in the youth intervention that Prince Godswill is doing, kindly write to us. Our social media handles are scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. I hope you've enjoyed today.
Yes, I have enjoyed today, and not really enjoying, also understanding that there's someone out there that's so passionate about humanity. He said something. Yes, he said something. He said, I just empty myself even when I don't have. That means a lot to me. That really means a lot to me. And that's where it takes me to saying that the life we're living today is not just for us alone.
Exactly.
It's also for others.
Exactly.
Until next time, on Let's Talk Charity.